Hello, everybody. It's Sandra Pelly, the Sandini, the keeper of the inner dragon flame, as well as a galactic shaman. I have a beautiful guest here today, Susan Kennard, and I just want to tell you a little bit about her before we get started. Susan is an Ascension Channel medium and multidimensional activator who lovingly blends the worlds of science and spirituality. She supports others in moving beyond doubt and opening to their own natural ability to heal, transform, and remember who they truly are. With a background in psychology, psychotherapy, and metaphysics, Susan gently weaves clinical understanding with her intuitive gifts. She offers a compassionate and grounded space for deep emotional healing, self acceptance, and alignment with the soul's highest calling. Working with the ascended masters, angels, and galactic teams, she channels high frequency messages and energetic transmissions that awaken crystalline DNA, expand consciousness, and reconnect individuals with their inner wisdom. Susan is the creator of the Galactic Crystal Chambers, a supportive, multidimensional healing technology designed to help individuals relax, receive, and recalibrate at the soul level, whether someone is healing from trauma, navigating life's changes, or seeking deeper connection with their spiritual path. Susan offers heart-led guidance and a nurturing atmosphere for growth, empower, and awakening. And what I really love about reading that is I really noticed how differently I personally read that. Like I just felt the real enunciation on every single word. And I think that's because you are so clear on who you are. Here's Susan, guys. Here's Susan. Wow. So happy you're here.
Thank you. I think that we are changing and transforming all the time. I am clear on who I am, and it's more about being clear in who I am in this experience of ascension. Just before I came on, I was working with a client, and one of the major things that I think was really important about the session was that she came back to the embodiment of actually feeling in her body. And when we are in that space, we don't need to even think about who we are, because we are reflecting that frequency in a place of peace, really.
That feels so very,
Yeah.
very powerful. I know that with a number of the speakers now, we're really recognizing there's a frequency and activation and energy that's happening. And I can really feel that in the energy that is rippling out from you. There's a lot of
Sure.
power
Thank
coming from
you.
you. Well, and when I say
Yeah.
power, I think you know what I mean by power. It's this I'll let you explain what you feel your power ripple is
I, sup-
happening.
I suppose it. I suppose it's more of a presence, isn't it? But I like to, I like to call it for all of us like a quiet empowerment. I think that we don't need to shout about the power that we have, and I don't think we need to hold a placard up. I don't think we need to do anything like that. I think just being in the presence of our alignment with who we are is powerful in itself. And what's coming to me as I say that is very much that there are things for us to, when we come into this world, things that we forget and we spend the whole of our pretty much our existence trying to remember. And one of them is who we are, that we're a soul in a jacket for a little while, and we're having that experience. And another is that we're not on our own. And I think that when we remember that, yes, we are a soul, we have everything we need, but we also remember that we have our teams, our teams of friends around us that we're here to work with. And also, another aspect of that is to remember that we can heal ourselves, that we decided and we came in and said, how am I going to know when I'm out of alignment to why I'm here? And so we have a body, which is the barometer for our soul. And that's kind of where my science background is, because I used to call myself a spiritual scientist, as you know, Sandra, and I just kind of felt that didn't work anymore. But the science is still in me. They can take the science out of the girl, but not the girl out of the science, or the other way around, because I'm very much a evidence person, always have been, right from my awakening. I know when I was 27, which was a little while ago now, uh, I had an awakening where I tried to disprove that life goes on and that, spirit exists and we are a soul. Tried to disprove it for such a long time. And that's the science aspect of me, that I need to have evidence. And I still hold the sciencey part of me very much. And so everything I talk about or I bring out into the world, into my communities and the groups that I run and so on, everything I talk about, it's because I truly, fully hold that integrity with what I'm saying. And so the science aspect I feel is really important because it helps us to understand that, we are a soul having a human experience and that we can evidence that we can heal ourselves big time. And when we understand that a dis-ease in our mind is a dis-ease in our body, and it's not that there's something wrong with us, or, and my disclaimer is I'm not a doctor and I don't claim to heal or cure, but essentially, when we look at that, we look at our vehicle of our soul and we're saying, oh, why is this showing up in my body? Well, it's the opportunity to go within and to actually access, why is my physicality showing me this message, rather than there's something outside of me that's creating this, or there's something that I've caught or that's been done that's creating it. And I think that's really important. So the science part of me is very much, I really help people to understand, the quantum side of themselves. It's not just that we have our guides and angels and we're a soul, but more, how can we shift in this world, create our reality, but also understand that we are the director. Yeah, that's a good one. Director of our life, and I think the director of our life is really important because we're in a world. I think last night I got a download. Actually, funny enough, it was early hours, and it was, choose now. Are you in the old earth? This is for everybody, right? Or are we in the new earth? And the old earth is, someone tells me what to do. I'm in fear. I'm in shame. I'm in guilt. I have to do as I'm told. I have to work 9 to 5. That's the old earth. The new earth is, I remember who I am. Exactly what you were saying, Sandra. I remember who I am. I remember why I'm here. And I remember that actually there are no mistakes, and every single thing that I experience is a reflection of my own frequency. And that is the new earth, right? And I think this download that happened, which many people are having, actually, I've spoken to quite a my community and they had big downloads today, this morning. And I think this is our opportunity to say, let's just trust everything, you know. I've had to step into trust with my daughter and her baby. So actually, just surrender it, allow it. And you don't need to control anything or think you need to control anything. Just allow it. And I think that's what we have to do. It's a beautiful reflection of, we strive for things, we want things, we desire things. But in that striving, what are we doing? We're pushing frequency and we're pushing it rather than just coming into that center and actually going, okay, I'm here in this moment. I'm here as a soul traveling in this human experience. And I know that everything is provided. And the more I come into that space of the now moment, and I call it 0 point, the higher self, the more we come into that, the more our world becomes seamless. I don't know if you've noticed that, Sandra, but as we step back and we almost imagine, someone, when you lay backwards and you're like, oh, where am I going? And someone's there to catch you. It's almost like that now. I think we have to literally lay backwards and allow ourselves to be held. And once we remember that, there's nothing that we can fear. And then we
Um,
don't feel I have to push, and I have to push all the time. So, yeah.
I do want to jump in here. I know that everything you say is so extremely valuable, and I want to highlight a couple things here. First, broadly, with regards to all the guest speakers, I find it utterly fascinating the backgrounds that people are shifting from and into. Like the
Mm.
backgrounds are just fascinating where people are coming from
Yeah.
and going onto a spiritual journey that's just there it's beyond belief that that's where I came from and this is where I'm at
Mm.
now. You
Mm.
said something else too, caught. What did I catch? What have I caught? And I had two epiphanies, or three actually. One is, wow, I love that because one, that's something that I am very consciously aware of um, that if I've got a cold or something like that, that it isn't necessarily I've got a bug or something, that I'm actually going through something.
Yeah.
And we all, like there are those um, signs of ascension, symptoms that you can get. And honestly, if you go look them up, they'll give you everything under the book, everything under the clouds that is a symbol that you're going through something. Having said that, I actually tell people just ignore that and believe that they're going through an activation or something's happening, they're shifting, et cetera, et cetera. Myself, I woke up this morning and I thought to myself, oh, what did I catch? I feel bleh right now. And I love that you came in and said, there was a big shift yesterday. Oh, okay. There you go. That's why I felt the way I felt this morning. It wasn't that I caught
Yeah.
something.
And
Okay.
interesting as we're here on this live, we previous weekend it was the equinox. I'm an astrologer as well. So when you look at that, you look at the new moon we just had in the North Node, which is our destiny. Then a few days later we had the equinox. If you think about what was happening in March 2020, right? It's the same time, it's the equinox, it's things going on. So there's a lot of people at the moment purging energies, and perhaps some of those energies are called labels, right? You know what's going on in the world, right? So if we can come away from that and we can go, okay, my clever, incredible body, and I'm a metaphysics teacher, so I'm trained in the neuropsychology of metaphysics and healing the body. And so when you look at that and you can say, okay, thank you so much for showing me this, I'm letting go of something at cellular level, which is allowing an expression of freedom within my body. And the more light we have in our cells, the more light we have in ourself. And so as we are releasing toxicity, emotional, physical, chemical toxicity from our bodies at the time of the equinox and also massive full moons and things like that, we are allowing, and the guides are saying enabling more light frequency to come into the cells. And so we are then becoming more crystalline. So we're no longer that carbon based physicality that we were before. As we're stepping into this new earth, we become more crystalline. And then, of course, it activates our multidimensional selves.
I want to
So
give
we're
I
becoming
want to
that
give
more.
I want to give one more example because I really want people to understand this in a much deeper way and recognize too that the example I give is very simplistic in that um, it happens for some without them even realizing.
Mm.
I have a person who's very close to me who is going through some real big changes. He got read the Riot Act about diabetes and had blood work done, et cetera, et cetera. We're waiting appointment to see what the next steps are, kind of thing, right? He woke up 2 days ago and felt upset, stomach, et cetera, and all that purge, et cetera. And I really feel that what I'm hearing you say and what I'm seeing in this individual is that at a subconscious level, he's accepted that, oh, I can do something about myself and how I feel.
Yeah.
I'm going to get rid of the old way of thinking, purging it in whatever manner that was purged, and
Mm.
I can now move into this new sense of being in a much different way. And I'm so grateful and thankful for you for bringing this to us and to me so that I can see this at
Mm.
this subconscious level because I consciously do things, but to see it in an individual who
Yeah.
stunned me when they said that they had the Neil Wabb Conversations of God books, like that blew me away that he had those. Never mind that he's doing this stuff at a subconscious, unconscious level, and he doesn't need to be aware of it.
So he was having a healing peak. So what happens in the body is we think that there's, something wrong with us, right? And what actually the body is doing is going into, we've had an acceptance, which could be through healing or through a conversation, or, happens spontaneously. And then we have a healing peak. And the healing peak is often, um, you know, um, coughing, it could be sweats, it could be diarrhea, as you're probably talking about, it could be being physically sick, things like that. Those are healing peaks. Okay, so is a heart attack, but I won't get into that right now. But they are healing peaks. And so what happens then is we go into regeneration. And then the regeneration of the body and the cells is very much that we go into, oh, I feel exhausted. And that's because the body is releasing. And I always say that when we go into that exhaustion, depending on the level of the healing peak and the exhaustion level, depends on what the trauma it is that you've just released. So I love it when one of my clients says, "Oh my goodness, this happened at the weekend, that happened, and now I feel exhausted." I'm like, brilliant. That means you really released something that had been long held for probably, obviously since childhood, but definitely previous lifetimes or ancestral epigenetics or whatever it might be. And it just tells me a story with that. So, what your lovely friend is going through, diabetes, is very much about, I didn't get what I deserved, or I was hard done by, or I didn't receive what was mine. I don't know if that makes any sense to you about your friend.
Oh, you have no idea. Like I could
Yeah,
literally go at you and you
yeah,
like so bang
yeah,
on, so bang on.
yeah. So that's what that is. So basically, then obviously that's the piece you would heal. Yeah, yeah. That's just that case. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's so fascinating when you can look at the science of that, then do the healing around the trauma of that, and then someone no longer needs the medication, they no longer need anything, yeah, because the body just doesn't need it anymore because the reason for it is not there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a bit
Wow.
of my work that I do.
Yeah. Well, and,
Yeah,
and um, we've had conversations. I mean, we've been on podcasts together. We've done the get to know you. And
I
also
enjoyed
too,
that, by
I've
the way. That was really fun.
that was fun, wasn't it?
The
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. Um, you do have a wide range. I mean, the short bio that I read really showcased that there is a lot of things there that you do.
Yeah,
What's the favorite thing that you're doing currently?
got a new book coming out, children's book. That's
This
just
is
a
the
tiny
second or
thing.
third one? Is
That's
this
my third one. But
third one? Yeah.
it's just a tiny thing for me because it's just something I wrote last September. Obviously it's in the publishers, we're doing all that, but it's called Stars Have Jackets. And I really wanted children to understand about loss. They remember, but they forget because they're told something different. And so I really wanted, yeah, Stars Have Jackets. So it's out fairly soon. I mean, we're still working with illustrations, but it's out fairly soon. But I have got two other books, as you know. My one that I won the Hay House Writers Competition, which is called Awaken the Light Within Your Heart. So that has been incredible. And then I've got The Guardian Wings, which is a children's book again, which is to help children remember that they are always protected, they're always loved. So
Mm.
I'm an author, which I definitely was not a plan in my mind that I would be. But one of my favorite things, I think probably the favorite thing at the moment, is helping people to realize that they don't have to give their power away to anyone. And I'm training Ascension practitioners, as you know. So I have a program, the Ascension Practitioner Program. And one of the key things about that is I'm teaching all of my staff, but we used to go to people to fix us. And I think the old earth, well, definitely the medical model, but the old earth, even with therapists and light workers, was, I'm going to this person to fix me, right? And what I really wanted to teach, and this is wholeheartedly who I am, is that you are the healer of your own experience. I'll facilitate it, and the guides are pretty good. And if we've got time, we will do some healing work because it will be fun, to bring everyone in, and it will open the door for us heart wise and frequency wise. And why not? We're in a great frequency right now to shift something. And I don't know what we'll do, but they'll tell me in a moment. But essentially, what what I really feel is important is that we used to give our power away to people. And it's really important in this ascension pathway that we're on to pull that power back. And yes, you can have a facilitator, that's really important as well. But remember, you are the healer. And whoever you are being facilitated by will be a frequency match to what you need to experience so that you can heal yourself. And I think we've gone too far that we've handed our power away to everything. You know, the government, the doctors, the everything. I have friends that are doctors, so I have no problem with doctors. It's just I think that we've given our power away that way. So it's really important to gain it back. So I think the work that I'm doing in my groups, I have a YouTube channel, which I love, which is just my name. And I give lots of free healing on there. So the guides will come in, we do light language, we do all sorts of, just created a series actually, which is the galactics, all the different galactics that are working with us. And the first ones I brought through were the mantis beings, and they came through, channeled what is going on in the world now, and they offered an activation. So you'll find that just my name, Susan Kennard, if you want to join that. I'd love it if you would, actually, because it's great when I'm just expanding to people, because they then get the message that they need. And that's, of course, all free. So, yeah, there's a series coming for that. So the Palladians are next. They want to come in and speak. Which is really exciting. So we're hearing from all of these beautiful galactics that are actually here to help us on the ascension pathway. So that's exciting. My new granddaughter is also equally exciting, coming into the world whenever she's due to come. But there are lots of amazing things going on in my life. But I think the main thing is that I am here to help you on your mission. And I think that's why I'm here. Yeah, I get to see into the body. I get to see what's going on. I can hear it. That I find easy. You know, that is easy for me. Living my mission is easy. Helping people to live their mission is my passion. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really love the power of what you say, and I felt the sincerity when you said that I'm here to help you. I really felt that. Like it's just it's so deeply ingrained in who and what you are. And I think really if people were to walk away right now, it's really understanding that you said something that's been a theme in this whole thing, that
Oh,
people are doing what comes naturally or what feels good to them. And that's what you're doing. And because of it, the way you've opened up to the galactics and all the different pieces of it, also too, you're transferring out of how you looked at science into how you're looking at science now. Like all of that has been such a natural progression of your life. And I think if people were to walk away with, like I said, right now, the realization that they already have something within themselves, and
100%.
when you open to what you are doing naturally and let it expand, and also to moving away from that human way of thinking, because that's what you alluded to as well, is we've been told that this is the way that we got to do things. The doctors say this is the way we got to do things, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And when we shift out of, well, someone somewhere said that this is the way we got to do things, and we were doing things entirely different back then. I mean, the very first war is a really good example of that. That's when orthobionomy was actually created, because it was the movement of the body to feel good versus going and doing something in a Western medicine way. Anyway, I totally digress. Carry on, please.
mm, I think we are. I mean, I'm watching people transform and change, and the guides are very excited about the fact that everything is perfectly aligned. You know, even though we can, hopefully you don't read the news and look at it, but if you do, if you were to look at the news and you were to see what's going on, yes, you can see it, but you know that this is almost like a pinnacle of change, that it's the last pieces of the anger and the last pieces of the fear and the old earth that we're stepping into. And so the guides are very excited about the timeline that we are on, because it's shifted at such a rate, and we will reach ascension this time. what's happening, I'm just being nudged here to say, is that when we were in Atlantean times, I didn't even plan to speak about this, but when we were in Atlantean times, we're sort of running parallel with the Atlantean lifetimes that we had. And of course, we know that it was a plan, that it didn't happen then, but we still have the feelings that it didn't happen. And so that's what's happening right now. I feel like we're purging the Pluto in Aquarius, is very much, we're purging all of those parts of us where we thought we didn't make it. So
Mm.
there's the savior part of us, there's the fear of failure, there's the parts of us like, oh, I couldn't possibly speak about source or who I am, I couldn't possibly be seen, I couldn't possibly stand in front with my gifts out in the world, because last time it didn't work. Yeah, it was futile. And so I think we're purging all of this now as we're stepping into this new frequency. And I like to see it as the new earth. The new earth to me is much stronger than the old earth. I used to see it clairvoyantly as, I mean, I suppose if you can imagine, the old earth is, if we ate curry for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, that's the heaviness. I like curry personally, but I wouldn't want to eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, right? If you imagine the heaviness, I'm a naturopath as well, so food is something I talk about. But if you imagine the heaviness of that in our frequency, and then on this side, the new earth is, fruit, vegetables, steamed, whatever, like light, high frequency foods, that is the new earth. So that's just an analogy rather than actuality, but it gives us a sense of, that's how heavy the old earth is. But I see it a lot smaller now. When I look, if I looked clairvoyantly now, I'd say, could you please show me where we are in the frequency? I'd see the old earth as a lot smaller and the new earth as bigger. And it's not that we are going to all of a sudden, there's another earth here and people are jumping there and we won't ever see them again. It's not like that. It's not a split as people talk about. It's more about a seamless transformation. Yeah. And that seamless transformation is that your friends are no longer a frequency match to you. Perhaps your partner is no longer the partner that matches, who you truly are now, the home that you live in, the work that you do. People are giving up jobs, like it's going out of fashion at the moment. Jobs are not around. People are creating their own experience. Yeah. And so things like that are changing. That's the new earth. Not that we're just going to jump suddenly across. I think we've still got feet in the old earth. I think I always liken it to, I've got a foot there and most of my feet are over in the new earth, right? And it's okay, because we don't we're not going to walk through, I wish we could walk through a car wash and just be washed of everything. But then the whole experience of stepping into this is the joy of it. I'm getting hot now. The guys are stepping in. But that the whole experience of this, is the joy of one foot in the old earth. Yeah. And the guides change, not because the guides change, but because we change. So our frequency changes. So therefore, the beings that want to work with us match our frequency. Yeah.
There's I'm really feeling, so bear with me here a moment.
Mm.
For the listener, I would love for you to accept the invitation that Susan has just shown you is there, that I know that I am already doing, and that's walking in many realities.
Mm.
And really understanding that we have the power of choice to which reality we want to walk in, and we will always have the connections to all the realities, and how we choose to be in each of those realities is really impactful and powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a great way of looking at it, actually, isn't it? Because we can say, it's all right to be in that reality, you know. And I stepped into that a little bit with the whole baby stuff. I was like, oh my goodness, what if, right? But I was going into my story of what happened with me when I gave birth to the one of mine. Yeah. So it's like we've got that opportunity to go, oh, okay, but let me be mindful of why I feel that, because today is never about today. You know, what our life looks like right now is not because of today, it's because of the sum of the parts of before. And so if we're looking at what happened before, in this case, it was a birthing experience 18 years ago, nearly 19, you know, that formed a story. And that story formed me to feel, oh my goodness, there's a bit of fear here, old earth. So my responsibility was to acknowledge that and say, yeah, actually, you know, that is the old earth and that's okay. And it's all right, but it's just saying, taking responsibility and saying, actually, that isn't actually that experience, that's just my perception of it. I suppose we could talk about trauma from that space, but it's our responsibility to be the one that notices and is a witness to our own experience, rather than looking at something and saying it's because of that, it's because of that president, it's because of that government, it's because of that, it's because of my partner, it's because of this. Yeah. And then we're in that space where we can say, oh, actually, how I feel about it is my responsibility and not what's actualizing in this old earth that we're experiencing.
I love how you are, for me, speaking to the choir, because I'm a firm believer of just how internal our life is,
Mm,
even though we're looking outside and thinking it's about all this, but it's how we are personally thinking, reacting, whatever that is. Yeah, very, very, very
mm.
much. Who am I in this?
Do we have, how long do we have, Sandra? Because I'm just thinking
I
might be
skipped
nice.
half a second here and I'll take a quick peek. We have a good uh 30 minutes.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, because I
Yeah,
would love to bring the guides in
please
and
do. I'm going to remove my spotlight and just give you the floor.
mm,
Okay.
yeah, that would be really great. So if you would like to take part in this, if you would like to, it's your free will. You don't have to. You can just watch if you want to. But I feel really drawn, and I'm just going to take a moment to see where we go with this. Okay, bear with me a second. I just want to ask the team. Yeah. Okay. All right, yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you on a little journey where we're going to heal a part of us that perhaps has been showing up in fear or showing up, we'll call it the old earth, you know, showing up in the old earth so that we can step more fully into the new earth that we're creating. So if you would like to do that with me, you're welcome to go on that journey. Okay. And I can see the Ascended Masters here. So I feel very much this is about helping um, the, yeah, the suffering part of us. And quite often that's the suffering child that shows up in all of these experiences, knowing that we are multidimensional beings, of course, but in this lifetime we've the childhood we've experienced has been triggers for previous experiences. And I don't think we need to get into a story of trawling through lifetime after lifetime. I see that in the Akashic records if I need to, but I just feel like this now moment really helps us because it shows us. So let's just come into our heart and yeah, let's come into our heart and just close your eyes if you would like to. So we're just going to create a sacred space. I always work like this. Creator, all that is, it's commanded that you pull, clear, cancel, and delete on all four levels and resolve on the history level for everyone here present and anyone choosing to listen afterwards. to release any waywards, any watchers, any entities, any attachments, any thought forms, anything that does not serve, and send it to pure unconditional love. Tis done, tis done, tis done. Okay, let's come into our heart. And so I want you just to take a breath and just hold for a few moments in your heart and release when you need to. And just do that a couple more times in your own space and time. Yeah. And then just return your breath to normalized breath and imagine a beautiful golden light in your heart. And just see that, see, feel, or experience that expanding throughout every cell of your body, throughout the whole of you, right down to your toes and your fingertips, the crown of your head. So if you were to look at yourself, you'd see yourself as a beautiful golden light with a human shape. And just imagine under your feet a beautiful star. And this is a crystalline star. And this is your Earth star. So just imagine that Earth star and notice, does it feel straight under your feet or does it feel further down into the earth? And you might notice a color. Just be open to anything. Good. Take a deep breath up to your heart and up to the crown of your head. Imagine that crown opening. And then imagine that you were looking at the stars beyond the stars and you can see your soul star, beautiful soul star above your head, way into the universe, the multiverse. Good. And then imagine that shower of light coming down from the biggest part of you, truly the part of you that has all the wisdom, your soul self. And imagine that coming all the way through you. Like a beam of light. Good. And let's invite in our guides and angels. Don't worry if you don't know who they are. It really doesn't matter. And know that as you're inviting them in, because we have created a beautiful sacred healing space before we started, we know that all of these beings come from a place of purity and love for us. So we can trust completely any information we're given, any healing that takes place for us. We know it comes from love and light and authenticity. Good. Take another deep breath. So I want you to set your intention. So just think about in your heart something that's showing up in your life that perhaps keeps you in the old earth. And then think about the main emotion of that. Is it fear? Is it control? Is it guilt? Whatever it might be, just connect in with that. Don't stay there, but just observe and just connect in with that. Okay. And then come back to me for a moment. Okay. You can open your eyes and come back for a moment. Everyone's in a deep space, that's okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to acknowledge and heal that part of us that has created that experience, okay? So we're not getting into a story. We're not doing anything like that. I used to be a psychotherapist and a psychologist, but I'm not anymore. And so we don't need to go into story. So think about that emotion that you felt when you thought about where you were when you'd stepped into the old earth for a few moments, right? Think about that emotion. Put your hand on your heart, and I want you to repeat these words as much as you can, exactly as they come, okay? So I want you to say, I'm so sorry that you felt. Make sure you say you and felt, because it's all aspects of you. So I'm so sorry that you felt, and then whatever emotion it was. Okay, got that? Say it out loud if you can, because as we hear our voice saying those words, we're giving ourselves that acknowledgement. And if English wasn't your first language, you might like to try it in the language that you had as a child, if that's the case. Yeah. So I'm so sorry that you felt, and then that emotion. Okay. And then just get a sense of feeling into it, be a witness and an observation of your own experience. And then connect in with that thought again and feel into it. And what other emotion is coming up? Connect in with that. Might feel quite different, but just connect in with it. And then I want you to say again, I'm so sorry that you felt, and then whatever emotion it was. Okay. And then notice how you feel and what might shift. We'll check in a moment. Okay. And then I want you to say, I'm so sorry that you forgot. You were a divine being of light, choosing to be human this time. I'm so sorry that you forgot. You were always loved and supported. I'm so sorry that you forgot. You had all the wisdom within you. Then take a deep breath and check in with how you feel. And then think about that particular situation and check in with how it feels. Okay. And then come back to me for a moment. Perhaps someone, or maybe Sandra, you might want to, I don't know whether you want to let me know if something shifted with that situation, or somebody else might like to.
Sure. I would definitely give the floor to somebody else if they raise their hands
Yeah.
and would like to. We all know that I'm capable. Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll go to the next bit. Okay. So, Sandra, nobody feels brave enough, I don't think, to put the hand up. So you
Fair
can.
enough.
Oh,
Um,
Jackie does. Jackie
did she?
does.
Oh, good, good. Jackie,
Yeah.
will bring you down. Thank you. Glad you spotted her.
So,
Thanks,
so
Jackie.
I
What did you
real
experience?
so I realized that I was feeling guilt, um, because, my business hasn't taken off as much, and my husband has been supporting me.
Okay.
So I recognized that I was feeling guilt.
Wow.
And with the so sorry, it's almost as I release that because I know I'm doing what I'm here to do. So
Amazing.
thank you.
And so when you think about it now, your beautiful husband supporting you so that you can be on your mission, how does it feel?
It feels, it's almost like a relief,
Of
right?
course.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, a relief.
Good. Amazing.
So
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome. That was just a very simple thing to access something. Yeah. So we're going to it. I can see the galactics here, but if anyone else has anything they just wanted to share about that, if not, we're going to just bring the galactics in and do some frequency releasing to step into the new earth more. So anyone else got anything? No? Okay. All right. So okay, so we're in that place where we are giving ourselves compassion and acknowledgement. So I want you just to imagine, and I'm making this up as I go along because the guides are just giving me this information. Imagine that you've got one foot on this old earth. Okay, so imagine your old earth. Okay, and then you see this incredible light, and it's like platinum, golden, sparkling, and you've got one foot there, and you've got all the other feet, well, the other foot on the other one, right? And what's happening? How does it feel that that foot is still there? Okay, so just feel into it. Okay, and feel like, for me, if I felt that, I feel like I'm a bit stuck, right? I feel like my foot's stuck there. That's what I'm feeling as I'm looking at it clairvoyantly. Okay, well, I don't want my foot there. I don't want to be stuck, right? So feel what feels right for you. Okay, and there's no judgment from you, from anyone. It's just like, oh, that's where I am, right? Okay, so now I'm going to bring in the guides, and they're going to come in and they're going to bring in, they're telling me, it's going to be light language. So if you've never experienced it, it's light codes coming through. The thing with light language and frequency is that we're bypassing the mind. Okay. So we're bypassing the mind. We're getting straight to, I suppose we might call it the nitty gritty. Okay. So we're getting straight to the soul. We're getting straight in there, and we don't need to think about why our foot's still stuck there. All right. So just receive this. If you never experienced light language, that's cool. Just close your eyes and just receive it. Okay. So I have to get out of the way. So hold on. And this is the second generation Council of Light coming in. They just wanted to introduce themselves. So take a deep breath and just check in and see if your foot is now on the new earth, and just feel into it. And if it isn't on the new earth, I'm going to teach you something here, where you take a deep breath and you ask for the healing sound for you to release that part of you that's stuck in the old earth. Okay. So you take a deep breath and you just say, can you please give me the healing sound? And you allow it to come through. And that is healing yourself. Okay. So let's just check in. Let's check in with everybody. Okay. How's everyone feeling? Do you feel like you've stepped fully into the golden, beautiful earth, or do you feel like you're over there? Let me know. Maybe Jackie can. Oh, Jackie's still stuck. So did you do your healing sound, Jackie? Oh, okay. So you take a deep breath, okay, and you ask for the healing sound for you to heal that part of you that's stuck in the old earth. And you allow that sound to come through you, okay? So just do that, because you are your own healer, right? You can heal yourself. Barbara's foot's released. That's good. Christina is in the new. I'm there with you, Christina. We're dancing in the new earth. With the light beings. Good. Good. Dancing. Yeah. So Jackie might feel, does that feel good now? So you see, we have all these tools that we forget that we have, right? And we forget that we have the ability to, as I stand in my sovereign birthright, I choose to release, and whatever it is. And we forget that we've got all of this. And then we look outside of ourselves and we say, I can't possibly do this. And this, I need someone to fix me. And this is what I would really love people to, before they think they need fixing, to just come in and just say, okay, I know I have all the answers within me. Please show me. Yeah. Because when you ask, you get the answers. You might get them in a song. I get songs a lot. You might get a song, you might get a dream, you might get someone, phoning you up and saying, hey, da, da, da. Or you might see a number plate. I'm sure you've seen those with 444 or 111 or 777 on them. And you get your answer, right? And I think that is one of the key things, is that we're coming back to self-empowerment, quiet empowerment. Sandra's in a quiet alignment. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Very powerful. It was really interesting. I know Christina wanted to share her experience with the
Oh,
first part of that, and
oh
I just
yeah,
wanted to share a
please.
little bit of mine before I give her the floor.
Mm.
I found it very interesting when you said if you speak another language, if English isn't your first. I actually did a light language in that, which was really interesting. So each of them, I spoke my English, and then I did a little blurb of light language, and it was just like, oh wow, that's kind of cool.
Kind of
Yeah,
who you are, right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So
And
I'll
it
give
could
the
be, Sandra, as well, that, in one of those experiences, in group consciousness or individual consciousness, that there was something, we had the wars of Orion, we've had so many
yeah.
experiences, that it could be that there was something held there with you and you needed to revisit that language to release it.
Well, and on that note, I my two feelings were depression and hope. So it was like, oh, I have to say sorry for having hope. And
Mm,
apparently I did. It was like, it was
mm.
so, it felt like I was coming home when I apologized that you had hope.
It's not so much apology, it's more, um, I'm so sorry you felt that. So what we're doing is we're saying, we're giving ourselves compassion for
Okay.
something that we felt that wasn't contained in that moment. That's kind of a bit
Mm.
psychological language, but we have a moment in time where we feel something which creates a belief, which obviously creates a story, right? And so what we're doing is all of the parts of ourselves, which is why that's why we called in all of our parts beforehand, is that we're saying, I don't know what part of me. I have no idea. It could have been growing in the womb at 3 months. It could have been ancestral. It could have been past life. It could have been whenever. But I know that there was a part of me, because it's showing up today, that felt something. And so it could be, I'm so sorry that you lost hope. I'm so sorry that you felt hope and then you lost it. I'm so sorry that you felt depressed or sad, or quite often those words don't, mainly sad comes up quite a lot. I'm so sorry you felt so sad. I'm so sorry you felt so angry. The major things that create ease within our field, right? And so it could be that. So it's not so much you're apologizing to yourself. So it's great you said that, actually, because it's not so much we're apologizing. It's more that we're saying, I'm just, imagine you've got a child and you're saying, I'm so sorry that you fell over and hurt your knee. It's like you're actually giving them compassion in that moment. Does that make
I
sense?
love that. Yeah, it makes entire
Mhm.
sense. Yes.
Yeah. Christina, I love to hear.
In the first time, my experience was similar to Sandra. So when you had moved on, I was like, oh no, it's okay, because I don't know if it would have been um not not contradicting, but my experience was like, oh no, like the second question was, I'm not apologizing, because my second emotion was acceptance, peace, like I am here, like
Yeah.
accepted. So when I went to apologize, I'm like, I am not apologizing
Yeah.
for the place that I take up. So I didn't have there was no part of my being that wanted to continue down the apologetic. And hearing your rephrasing is really great.
Yeah.
But there
Yeah.
was still this part of like, no, I'm just going to stand here until everybody gets here. And
Yeah.
then when
Yeah.
everybody was like on the line, and then you were saying, oh, does it feel like a pull? It's like, oh, it feels very grounded. Like, I'm actually good still. And so I just kind of again was like, oh, this actually I feel good. I'm just going to wait and see where this goes.
Mm.
And then when you said the foot let go, all I felt was like grass under my feet versus rock under my feet. And I thought, oh, okay, yeah, just being really grounded and being here. Had the same process with you. I just wasn't linear, sort of like this linear
Yeah.
walk through the experience. It was more like a,
Energetic.
yeah, more like a,
Mm.
maybe like a growth, like a,
Mm. Yeah,
I've already grown past that part or whatever. No, I don't think past is the right way to say it, but it was definitely like Sandra said, it's like, oh yeah, it's a kind of coming home feeling when you're like, oh, there's nothing for me to do there. Oh, that was kind of nice. And then, oh,
yeah.
there's nothing here for me to do.
A-
Oh, well, actually, I didn't know there was nothing
And
there for me
truly,
to
there
do.
really isn't. It's just only there's parts of us that just thought there was. Yeah. And sometimes there are parts of us. And I think those, I'm always fascinated that what shows up, because I'm like, I'm actually pretty, nothing bothers me really. And then it's only the things that are your children or my children or family. And these are the things that are the only things that get me to truly look at myself. Everything else, I don't have any charge on things. I really don't care what people think. I don't have an issue with the fact that, I see galactic beings and people are talking about alien whatever, and I'm like, well, I've been doing this for 5, 10 years. To me it means nothing. Yeah, so it's very sacred and it's a journey, and I don't get a charge on any of it. And then I have a family situation with a baby, an imminent baby, and I'm like, whoa, okay, what part of me needs to be an acceptance of that and letting go? So I love it when we look at our world and we're like, oh, what do we want to tweak? What do we want to tweak? What would we like to tweak? And I always say, and if you're thinking about this, that how can I serve in the best way, in the highest and best way for humanity? I often say that. Yeah, how can I best serve? And whenever I'm creating courses or teaching my groups, it's always like, okay, what would you like me to teach today? What would you like me to bring forward? That's why I don't prepare things, because I know that wherever it goes is where it needs to go in a conversation like this, because it will be exactly where it needs to be. And so I think that, Christina, for you, I feel very strongly it's like, okay, where do you want me? Does that make sense to you more? Like, where do you want me? Yeah.
Yeah, that does make
Yeah.
that really does feel very anchored.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Where
Thank
where
you.
can I best serve, Show me. And I think that's a great thing for you to ask, because yeah, I can see a lot in your field anyway.
I love that. Oh man, oh man, if
Thank
we could
you.
do a one-on-one right now with you and Christina and us be the rest of the
Yeah,
flies on the
yeah,
wall.
yeah. I can see a lot in her field. It's good.
Uh,
Yeah.
is there anything else that you'd like to share with people before we wind up? I know that you have this beautiful gift, the quantum portal of self-love.
Yeah.
And you are also offering in the VIP part, the how to connect and build a relationship with your guides. And just listening to you, I think people can hear the value that's there in more ways. Like it's like Christina, it's like that there's that linear and yet it's so not linear, right? Like really recognizing that. Yeah.
Yeah, and there are also, I mean, the quantum portal of self-love is just a beautiful recording that you can step into and experience a portal of self-love and lots of healing within it. So, many of the guides in their activations and so on. I wanted to gift that because it's a really beautiful one. And the VIP one you're talking about, that's 9 videos. So it's a 9 video series, and healing within it as well, taking you through connecting and the particular way that I teach it, because I was taught many, many years ago, very professionally, to work as a medium, work with my guides and so on. So when I teach in a very, very professional way. So you learn to actually bring your guides in, ask them to step out, all sorts of stuff in that video series. So I just really wanted to empower people once again to work with their guides and get their own answers, which is really, really good. Yeah.
Love that. Love that. Susan, I'm just, it was so interesting because you said that this is your first gift giveaway. I remember very clearly you saying this is your first gift giveaway, and the response to people has been just really, really magical. Recognizing like there's this energy that you carry, and people are responding to it. I just really wanted to let you know that
Oh, thank
that
you.
they're really recognizing what you have to give and offer, and it's my hope that that just flows through in beautiful abundance and whatever that feels like, whatever that looks like for you, truly.
Thank you. I mean, I love it. You know, I do lots of one-to-ones, mentoring and healing sessions, but also my group work. You know, I've got my soul family, which is my membership. I've got my practitioner program where it's really for people that are really ready to be ascension practitioners out in the world. So they go through their own healing journey and they're like, yeah, I really want to do this. I really want to be of service. And it's going to that next level. I love working with them. I love watching everyone grow. And for me, I just live in the moment. You know, I've got a great opportunity in Italy coming up in September, where in Orsolino in Italy, where I'm actually going to be creating a retreat out there. So I'm looking forward to that in 2027. But to be honest, I really don't know what else I'm doing. You know, I like to live in the moment. I like to listen to where I was saying to Christina, you know, where do you want me? You know, where would you like me to be? You know, lots of speaking opportunities I get all the time. So I just want to live in the moment, and that's my invite to everybody. Just really truly live in the moment, and never make a decision from fear or I have to. And I think if we come away from that, we've stepped with our sparkly feet into the new earth. And as we do that, we watch our life expand and transform. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you
Thank you
so
for all
much.
your beautiful words that you said as well, Sandra. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Susan Kennard, there are no words to describe you. There truly are. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.
Thanks for inviting me. And thanks. It's lovely to meet you all, by the way. And those of you that I haven't met, but you're on the replay, lovely to meet your energy too. Thank you.
Uh, I
Thank
love
you.
that. So, with your sparkly feet, everybody, take a few moments now to freshen up, get a glass of water, have a bite to eat, and then come back for our next guest speaker. Enjoy the moment.